All right, joining us on Pirate Radio Live on this Monday, former ECU Great Aundrae Allison to talk college football and NFL Week 1. Andre, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Enjoying this Labor Day weekend with my family. It's a beautiful day
Abs-
here too, so
a
it's all
great
good.
weekend for football, a great weekend for family, Andre.
Oh
I'm a
yes.
little mix of both of them. And let's start with Pirates and Pack. We talked to you on the Bud Light pregame tailgate on Thursday before kickoff, and you said you were fired up. You had the family wearing purple shirts and socks, I believe, all the way down to the socks. And Andre, as a wide receiver, an offensive guy, it had to be tough to watch those first four or so possessions for ECU. Just took them forever to get going. Finally got clicking, but you dig a 17-0 hole. It's tough to come out of. So, what'd you think of the game the other night?
Yeah, I think you hit it around the head because if you start off slow like that, especially on the road against your rival, it's going to be challenging to get that momentum back. And I just think that's a small correction, though. It's something that you can look forward to, like as a player or a fan. You can just automatically see those little tweaks like that, and know that you can, overcome stuff like that by just jumping off to a better start, faster start, being more aggressive. But it didn't really throw me as a surprise, especially by it being the offensive side. Sometimes the offense, um, we come together like a little later as opposed to the defense because defense is so like reactionary. So I wasn't surprised, but I definitely can see like moving forward, I could see us like hyper focusing on coming out and jumping out the gates more aggressively.
Well, man, that game was a precursor to what we saw all week one, pretty much, which was lower scoring games, especially in the big games with the defenses being ahead of the offenses. Andre, ECU ran for over 300 yards against NC State in the bowl game, ran for 30 yards as a team the other night. So, do you almost feel like they came out and said, "Here's what we did last time we played you. We think we can do it again"? And because it almost felt like they were running their head into a brick wall with those runs early on.
Yes, for sure. I can see that. And a lot of times it takes a different type of mentality to kind of um, change from what you did, and you was already successful at doing it. But I can see that our team definitely wanted to kind of like carry that over from the bowl game and bring it, into this season, and it didn't work in our favor. So, yeah, I would like to see definitely a little bit more creativity in the play calls.
What'd you think of Caden Hauser, Andre? When he got rolling, man, he looked good throwing the football, and State was applying pressure. He looked pretty comfortable back there, ran it a couple of times, and had over 300 and, 60 yards passing the other night.
No, he looked really good. Honestly, he looked really good. He stayed composed. I did like seeing that. He didn't look rattled at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as leadership qualities, he definitely has it. He's a big kid. To me, he's a gunslinger. But to me, I would also want him to be more like in control of everything. Just let's just put it on the back of Mr. Hausen and let's see how far he can take us. Because I feel like he's built for that.
Yes, sir. Put the ball in his hands. Now, Andre, you got week 2. You go from like a big road environment rivalry game to an FCS opponent. So, personally, I'm not super excited about this week. I hope the Pirates can just go out there, take care of business, and then we'll hit the road for Coastal and host BYU in some bigger games. But how about as a player, Andre? How do you kind of keep your focus when you know you're supposed to win and win by multiple touchdowns against the team?
Yeah, it's a challenge because you got to think of so many components and variables that go into the success of winning on a big scale like that. And you look at Campbell, a team like that, you can pretty much beat them just based on, just the resources and the talent and things of that nature. But you have to have the right people in position to make sure that you don't get sidetracked and you don't take it lightly. And also, if to me, I would love for to be in the locker room or to be involved with the situation because my approach would just be to let's just use this as a momentum builder. Let's just really run it up on them and take it as if it is our rivalry. Just keep that mentality, the dog mentality, the whole year. But you do have to make sure you stay on top of your players and your teammates and let them know you can't take this lightly.
And you got a few things in the Pirates' favor. They're coming off a loss, so they want to get that taste out of their mouth, and it's the home opener. So, even if you do get a little lackadaisical with it, there are motivating factors in this game, and I don't think Blake Harrell, he's not going to let the team overlook anybody or take anybody lightly. So I do expect a good performance this weekend. Andre, again, you mentioned the defenses being ahead of the offenses. We saw some defensive struggles with Ohio State, Texas, with Clemson, LSU for a lot of that. Even Notre Dame, Miami for a while before the offenses before Notre Dame really got going late in that game. So, what'd you make of all the kind of poor quarterback play, or you could look at it as really good defensive play?
I always look at it as if it's better defensive play and better defensive play calls because it boils down to just who's calling the plays, honestly. But in those big games like Ohio State, Matt Patricia as a D coordinator, it's kind of like unfair a little bit. But you see that with the bigger schools, they have those type of defensive coordinators, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to be a little bit more ahead of the offense because I mean you don't want to come in there and be so loose and just creative that you just making a lot of mistakes. You want to get everything timed up because offense is so like rhythm driven, you know. So it's one of the things I say now, looking back at this past weekend, I'm like, okay, week 2, week 3, things have started picking up, but now the college season is so long, it's not too bad like it was in the past.
Yeah. Andre, that's a great point with Matt Patricia because I read something today about how Bill Belichick should be able to put these little college quarterbacks in hell just with what he's going to do defensively. The problem is he doesn't have the players that Ohio State has right now. But is it that elementary that these coaches are these elite, NFL coaches are that far ahead of college coaches, and you think, Belichick, Patricia should be able to just do things that maybe other college coaches can't do facing quarterbacks?
Oh, absolutely. It's not even close. Like, and I mean, if you think about it, they've just seen pretty much every style of play
Yeah.
that's imaginable when it comes down to football. So, and it's so slow to them. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of bad play if you're going against those two coaches because they can just trick you in so many ways. I mean, you see top tier NFL first round top 10 quarterbacks coming to the league and be completely confused on what's going on, you know. So if you look at those top programs like the Ohio States, the LSU's, they have that caliber of coaching on their sideline. Whether it's coordinating everything or the assistants or the people that's just giving them day-to-day little small nuggets here and there. And I'll never forget, my first time being around SEC players, I was watching the LSU wide receivers working out before the draft, and I was just blown away at how knowledgeable they was with NFL route trees and the dialogue and things of that nature. I felt so behind. I was like,
Hmm.
holy, like you know the terms as if you're already in the pros. So that's just it's something to look at. But it definitely stood out like crazy against Arch Manning. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
like Patricia is on a whole nother level.
Man, yeah, that's some great insight. And because just watching the game, we don't think about all the intricacies of it. It reminds me of like one of my favorite videos. It might be Tony Dungy talking to Ed Reed, but it's Ed Reed, and they're talking to him about something he saw on film from Peyton Manning like 3 years prior, and on one particular play, he basically baited him into throw. The brain that these guys have and play with, and to be able to do it that fast is like on a non-human level almost.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're talking about those Hall of Fame type players like
Yeah.
Ed Reed. I mean, to trick Peyton Manning. I mean, that's a whole another level. I saw
And
that
now
in
we're
person.
talking about tricking college quarterbacks. You're right. You said earlier it's not fair. That don't even sound fair. Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't because I think one of the major advantages those big programs like that also have over like smaller schools is like the ability to be more themselves and like be a little bit more risky in their play. Like they fit the scheme and the style of play, but the coaches give them a little bit more green light to kind of just do what they do best, right? So then it's just like the play call comes in, It's a chess match when it comes to that, and then it's like our athlete against your athlete, you know. And I could see the Ohio State receiver, the Smith dude. He looked a little frustrated out there too, because I'm sure Texas was putting together some schemes and things like that to confuse him. And then they had the athletes to actually execute it, you know. So it's I love seeing chess matches like that.
And boy, it stinks for the fans like me because I wanted to see, Smith go off, Ryan Williams go off,
Same.
Jeremiah Love last night, and these defenses said, "No, sir, we're not going to allow that."
No, I hope this is not a continuing trend because I like the balance of like enough points, but also like key critical stops.
Yeah, yeah,
But those 14 the zilch games and the low scoring, I'm not used to that with college.
nah,
And I feel like the pros is almost like they've already surpassed college when it comes down to the points because now if you can't score 28, 35 points in the pros, you're in trouble.
yeah, you're right. One team that scored a lot last year in the pros was your Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota opening up Monday night at Chicago, and an awesome year for the Vikings last year. But they think they can do it with J.J. McCarthy instead of Sam Darnold, so they pass the reins over to him. What kind of year are you expecting from Minnesota, and how about the opener at Chicago Monday night?
I'm expecting a big year. I think they can actually get over the hump with McCarthy. Um, he has just a little bit more pizzazz than Darnold. And then they was not too far away last year from actually getting to, you know, the chip with the defense with Matt Fleur. I mean, the old Miami Dolphin coach as the D coordinator. Just the synergy when I was at the games last year, the synergy and how the team was playing, it was so magical. Like the offense and defense and special teams, they were so in sync. And the play calling again, I mean, you got a D coordinator like that. The defense alone is going to keep the game really, really close. So it's only a matter of like, you know, getting the run game established to where it can be consistent and taking a lot of the pressure off of JJ because he's gonna get double teamed. Because if you don't, you pretty much giving the game away. So I'm just looking forward to see how they get the run game established and get some of those tight ends involved as well.
Watching that quarterback documentary on Netflix, it was Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow. At least two out of three, maybe all of them, played against or referenced Brian Flores with Minnesota and talked about the hell that he put him through, game prep, and then the game itself, and how he's able to shut quarterbacks down just about better than anybody right now.
Yes, I saw it first last year. I was at the Houston Texans game,
Hmm.
and I was looking forward to seeing the kid from Ohio State. And while I was watching the game, I started to feel bad for him. Like the way that they were confusing him, it was like, I mean, because you know he's a top tier talent, right? And it just looked like wow, he was so confused, out of sync. They didn't have any chemistry at all with the receivers, and I was just like, man, that D coordinator, he's serious. And seeing that hands on approach to where like you got the vets in the secondary and things of that nature with Harrison Smith and players like that. There's
Yeah.
just they've seen so much ball, and then you have that D coordinator calling the plays and schemes. It's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. So the Bears, they're definitely in trouble. There's no way. Just the first year with the new coach from Detroit, I don't see them beating the Vikings at all. The Vikings, they got a whole different type of swagger and confidence about themselves right now.
NFL season opens up Thursday with Cowboys Eagles. Last Monday, we talked about Terry McLaurin getting his extension with Washington. The other big name holdout out there was Micah Parsons, and since we last talked, he went to the NFC North to join the Green Bay Packers. Cowboys getting a defensive tackle and a couple of first round picks. What did you make of that trade, Andre? What does that mean for the Packers, but more so, what does it mean for Dallas this year?
I think that really helped the Packers. That almost that almost put them like ahead of the NFC North to me,
Hmm.
just with that pass because you have to have somebody coming off that edge with the quarterback play that's in our conference up there. But then like as far as with the Cowboys, I think that was more of a strategy for a future approach that they would like to take. I think they personally would like to get Arch Manning. I don't think Jerry is too much putting a lot on this season right here, because you got the Redskins and you got the Eagles. You're gonna have to bring superior talent to replace Dak, and they don't have the quarterback play. I feel like that's what that move was, a chess move by Jerry. Like, let's just put all our chips in for Arch.
Hmm.
Right now, we're just get through. Don't have a losing season, but yeah, that's how I looked at that. But I think Parsons came out on top because you want to go where you're wanted, and the way that it was handled, I just feel like the Cowboys wasn't his best option. Green Bay definitely wanted him for sure.
All right, Andre, game of the week, Sunday night. And look, we love the NFL because every game matters. Every game is so important. At the same time, it is a long season, but I get irritated like if Washington loses in September and somebody says, "Well, it's still early." Yeah, but they all count the same. You're gonna wish you had that one in December. So I bring that up to say Bills Ravens. Like these are the two of the teams that could be vying for that number one overall seed in the AFC. So while it's week one, a very important game, it's in Buffalo. What do you think about Lamar versus Josh Allen Sunday night?
That's going to be a great game for sure. And I agree with you. These games count, because if you're the Ravens, you're looking at like I don't want to visit Buffalo in the
Yeah,
snow later
yeah,
on in the season, and vice versa. Buffalo, I feel like Buffalo would play a little better in Baltimore as opposed to the reverse.
right.
But I want to see Mr. Jackson take that next step. I think he has a different chip on his shoulder this year as well, just because of how the season ended last year and the amount of pressure that's on him to get over the hump and get to the Super Bowl. It seems like he's going to definitely elevate his play. But then you got Josh Allen. He's just a whole different type of monster. You got that receiving core, and he takes the team that far. So it's going to be one of those magical games of just chess moves. And once the play break down, we're going to see who has the best tacklers to be able to tackle Josh
Mm.
Allen or Lamar Jackson. But yeah, I can't forget about Mr. Henry back there running the ball as well. So I don't know. I'm going for Baltimore with this game coming up.
Keaton Mitchell, former Pirate running back, was in Raleigh on Thursday night. A healthy Keaton Mitchell will be with the Ravens. And Andre, he might get 5 touches, maybe 7, but he only needs 1. He's a home run hitter, and we're excited to see the former Pirate joining. You got big Derrick Henry and fast Keaton Mitchell back there with Lamar Jackson. That's kind of a nightmare for defenses.
Oh, absolutely, it is. I like that trend. It seems as if Baltimore, we might have some affiliation with the Pirates there because a lot of our players from ECU get opportunities in Baltimore. So that's great to know that he's definitely one of the weapons that Lamar will be using, and he can definitely bet on having a lot of great opportunities to have one-on-ones with defenders because you have to account for everybody that's on that offense. Everybody is such a big play threat, so he'll have some great opportunities to be in open space.
My favorite all-time ECU tight end had a cup of coffee with Baltimore. Your old teammate Devon Drew, if I
True,
remember
yep.
correctly. Yep.
Yep, he did for sure. And then when he was there, that's when Ray Lewis and the boys were there too, right? So yeah, he was there when the dogs were in the house.
Andre, awesome talking with you, man. We'll do it every Monday, recapping ECU, previewing ECU, talking NFL as well. And enjoyed today's chat. Let's do it again next week, man.
No, absolutely. And I may be at that game coming up this week. So
Okay. All right. We'll hook up. Come by the
yeah,
studio.
no, definitely will.
Thanks, Andre.
All right, thanks. Good. Talk to you soon.